Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Charbonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate it. You know, it's this time of year when we kind of get an idea of what cold weather's doing, but maybe we need to get a little better understanding of what that means. Very glad to have with us Ms. Paula Rome. Paula, thanks for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
All right. Of course, with the Bayou Region Customer Service Manager with Entergy. And so, Paula, it's one of those things where I don't know if people realize it, but the seasons kind of do affect each other, especially down here. You know, we got to see all of the problems that we saw with all the dry air, all of the lack of moisture that we had during the summer. Let's talk about what that means for the winter.
So what that means for the winter is we have a lot of trees and branches out there that are about to break.
Okay.
And so as soon as they have just a little bit of precipitation on them, which could mean freezing rain, ice, they can very well break and hit our power lines and cause outages.
And so a little bit of water on that tree can create some ice. Let's talk about a little bit of water and precipitation on a wire line that people, I don't think, realize what that means and or the weight.
So it doesn't have to get that cold below freezing. So it just takes 2 or 3 degrees below freezing for that freezing rain to stick to our power lines.
Okay.
So just 1/8 of an inch of freezing rain accumulated on our line, the small limbs and lines become coated and they can cause isolated outages. At 1/2 inch on our line, that's like adding an extra 500 pounds to our lines and weighing them down.
Wow. So 1/8 of an inch can really make them fall and break and cause outages, and 1/2 of an inch, in which we know we've seen. I mean, we've seen that kind just this week. We've seen that. So people just need to realize that power outages are very real, and it doesn't take a great deal of precipitation or a long time for cold weather to do that below freezing.
Correct.
And so where we're all trying to prepare for plants, we look at a freeze versus a hard freeze. A lot of that stuff really doesn't matter as it relates to those lines and the potential for those having outages.
Right. And what you pointed out, Keith, is that since we had such a dry summer, that adds to it because the limbs, our trees, are about to break. And that's why this time of year we ask residents to please trim the trees around your house, around the power lines around your houses, because just a little bit of that precipitation on the trees will break them and they will fall.
Yeah, and they're so brittle. And that's just one of those things. So, Paula, we appreciate that update. Now, what can we talk about it with regards to this cold weather and electrical usage? Because I know very often this electrical usage goes way up and are out of hand.
Yeah, so everybody worries about their electric bills in the summer because we put on the air condition, but actually your heater pulls more wattage from your on your electric bill than your air condition does. So 55% of your electricity bills come from your either your heating or your cooling, so air conditioning and heaters. Right. So what you can do is Entergy has a multitude of tools on our website for bill management. So if you sign up for our online system and you manage your bill that way, you can see your daily usage.
Oh, good.
So you can see what your usage was yesterday,
right?
And see how much power you used yesterday and what that cost you, and you can adjust your daily usage to accommodate that cost.
Now we know we never want people to be able to use their ovens. We never want them to turn on their ovens, be it electrical or gas, to be able to do that with. But what about some of these fireplaces? Now, obviously, a wood burning fireplace is a good idea. What about some of the electrical fireplaces? I don't think they draw nearly as much energy as your heater, right?
Yeah, they definitely don't draw as much energy as your heater.
Okay.
And it also will warm up your rooms very, very well. Keep in mind you want to use all the energy efficiency ways that you can keep your house warm. Right. I know just myself, I found that my living room was very cool yesterday, and just closing my curtains kept the cool air out.
Right.
And it let my heater not work as hard.
And maybe closing some of those bedroom doors, some of those doors that are not being impacted by that particular heating system or cooling system.
Yeah, weather strip your doors, anything to keep the warm air in and the cool air out.
Right. Gotcha. What about a little bit for the suspension of cutoff till Friday? What is happening with that?
Yeah, so Entergy has made a decision to, as long as we have this cold weather weather event that we're going to suspend cutoffs for non-payment.
Right.
So we will do that. There has not been an announcement yet that we're going to extend that past Friday.
Right.
But be on the lookout. You may be hearing that in the next day or two.
So if people are concerned about getting their heat or electricity cut off, y'all are going to try to suspend those as long as you can. Of course, there's got to be an end time for that or a stop time for that, just as preliminarily making sure that we don't turn electricity off for people who are struggling during these cold snaps. Thank you for that. I know that's something y'all don't have to do, and so we appreciate that. Now, you'd also mentioned how people can set up to get information, and they can go on the portal and do that. Let's talk about how they can set up for that and or sign on for that, and the address that they can go to for that.
Yeah, if you go to Entergy.com,
right.
There's you can look for bill assistance, and you can look for that. You can look for how to sign up for the My Tools, which includes how to get set up for online. When you set up for online, it's great because you can report outages there.
Okay.
Not just when your house is out, but like a street light is out, anything like that. You can get your bill that way. But all of those tools that you can see your daily usage really helps you manage your bill.
Yeah.
And speaking of cutoff for non-pay, we have multiple ways that we can help you pay your bill. We have payment extensions. We have payment plans. Just call us and we will be happy to help. And that's 1-800-ENTERGY.
So either 1-800-ENTERGY or Entergy.com and find out ways to do that. Just one last thought I will tell you, you never really know where your money goes until you track it. Much like you don't really know what your usage is of your electricity until you follow it. What a great idea and a great way to do that. Paula, we always appreciate you coming on, especially during these times of needing a better understanding of what's going on, why, and how with our homes, and making sure that we can do that more efficiently. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, guys, and that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on HTV.